In this section, we're going to be talking about how to prepare your paints and brushes for making the painting. We're also going to be talking about how to lay out your paint palette. For this section, you're going to need some water, some newspaper. You're also going to need a flat, clean surface to work on. And you're going to need your paints and your brushes ready for you to start. And the last thing you'll need is a colour printout of the bird that you've chosen to paint. Now we're up to the part where we're going to start painting our base coat. But before we paint the base coat, we need to prepare the brushes and the paint that we want to use. Now we're going to be using a range of brushes over the painting, and I'll explain each one as we go along. But for now, we're just wanting to use synthetic square end brush, so kind of a medium and a small. I've got a really small one, but I'm not sure if I'll need to use that today. These hog bristle brushes, which are a bit rougher than synthetic, are going to be used a bit later on for our dry brushing layer. So we'll put those ones away, and these detail brushes that we'll use at the end of the painting, and just keep these two here. Now the next thing is we're going to use our paint. I like to use acrylic paint, and my brand that I use is called Global. What I would just say is just, try and get a good quality paint. You don't want something that's too thin or doesn't kind of doesn't hold its form very well. And I've just found these to work really well on the plywood. And so once you've got your paint, you're going to have to think about the colours you want to use. So when I'm looking at my tui, I'm looking at these kind of blues and greens that are going on up here. Lots of blues obviously down here, and some browns. But I'm going to just start off by preparing for the base coat for these blues and greens. And the other thing that you want to do when you're using paint is don't use pure colours that are straight out of the bottle, because they tend to look kind of too fake or too bright. You can mix a little bit of grey with the colours, or you can use colours like this, which is a green oxide. So it's already got a little bit of kind of grey mixed in with it. So what I do, I just use just a piece of old core flute, plastic, and what you want to do is set up your palette so that your paints are just separated a little bit. We need to leave enough space to be able to blend and mix the paint between them. Alright, now we always need black and white because we're going to be having different tones of the same colour. So we just drop some of that down here. Like so. Alright, and I think we'll just leave the brown for now, and we'll come back to that a little bit later. Now, you can see how I've set up my palette like this so that when I do start mixing the colours, I've got enough space here to be able to mix colours in between and have different kind of spaces around, mixing light with each colour and dark with each colour. So just make sure that your paint is nicely kind of spread out around your palette. Okay, so now that we have our paint palette prepared, we need to start blending some colours. Blending just means mixing two colours together. So what I'm going to do to start off is I'm going to try and create some of these bluey greens that you see kind of through the head and around here. And the best way to do it is just to grab a little bit of paint from here and a little bit of paint from here and just mix them like so. Just keep grabbing a little bit as you come, and then that's looking kind of nice. Now what I'll do at this point is just grab a bit of white, chuck a little bit of white down here, mix it around on the side, and you can see that that just gives me now a lighter version of, or a lighter tone of this colour that I've mixed. I can also mix to the side here, grab a bit more blue, which looks like one of the colours in the range, and the next thing is I want to just wash my brush and I can do the same thing with the black. Just get a little bit of black mix it in here. It's a little bit of blue here. And there we are. Now we can mix these colours as we go, but you can see just by setting up the palette like this, now I've got my kind of mid-tone between blue and green. I've added white to it. I've got a more blue, light blue version. I've got a darker, sort of more green version. And that will give me enough range now to create all the tones that I want to create in the head. Alright, let's get painting.